It's time now to answer some of your business questions. Jean and Julie are back with us now. This first one is about taking your staffing to a new level.
As a small business owner, I'm focused on running a lean organization with part-time and freelance staff for budget reasons and also for legal reasons. But when is the right time to hire full-time employees?
Julie, I'm gonna start with you. I think when you talk about budget reasons, part-time freelance staff can be cheaper, but it can also be more expensive, as I have found with my own personal experience, because there's just this great turnover in training, and you don't necessarily take that into consideration when you first make these decisions.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But first of all, I would commend her on being so resourceful and creative and lean. I'm a believer in starving your way to success. And there's nothing more focusing than being resource constrained. We often talk about being resource constrained as an issue, but there's actually an upside to it as well, which is it really drives focus around first things first. In terms of kind of deciding where to invest in permanent full-time employees versus outsourcing, you're absolutely right. There is a cost to having outsourced or part-time employees, and it comes down to the core functions that uniquely kind of differentiate your business. You want those to be committed employees. That's a core asset. Now, peripheral functions that are like accounting, things like that, we live in a virtual corporation kind of world, and there's a lot of flexibility around retaining those resources as needed.
It's true, and in my business, so I've got like 10 employees, but I've got about a dozen subcontractors as well, and there's like a big difference between subcontractors and employees. You can really rely less on subcontractors to get the work done. They have the ability to, leave anytime they want. They have the ability to work for competitors of yours. They're just a contractor. The other thing that terrifies me is exposure to the IRS. Because you have people that you rely on more, and they're doing more work for you, and if you're not complying with the 20 rules that the IRS has, you really could be subject to some liabilities.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's incredibly important for someone to understand the difference between an employee and a contractor, and you do not want to be in violation of that.
That is exactly right. So in the end, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like buying a tuxedo, and I know you're looking at me like I'm nuts, right? You must be wondering, why do I have this guy on the show? When you buy a tuxedo, it's like, you rent a tuxedo at $200 each time, or you buy it for $1,000. If you're going to a lot of parties and you're really social, you commit to having a tuxedo because it's going to be a part of your life. And maybe that's a
cost per wear
example, but yeah, it's still the same thing.
Okay, great. Let's move on to another question about getting customers.
How do you go about building your customer base when you don't have a brick and mortar store, but you don't want to inundate your customers with too many emails?
Julie, you are in the heart of Silicon Valley, so I'm going to start with you.
Well, the first kind of key to building a customer base is, and this kind of maybe sounds like it should go without saying, but really important, is having a product that people love and they love so much that they want to tell others about it. And then the next is really about building a trusted, incredible relationship with your customers. Email isn't about selling customers, it's about establishing a relationship with them. It's about earning the right to communicate with them so that they want to hear from you. And oftentimes the starting point is, how do we get you to buy our product? Let us tell you how great our product is. But if you flip that and say, how do we make this about you, not about us? Start with, what's the walking around problem? What's the walking around opportunity where the customer's mind is? How do we add value to their lives? Then we earn the right to talk about our products, and it sets the context, and then they want to hear from us.
And if I can even add to that as well, and Julie's absolutely right. You never want to put a sales pitch down a customer's throat, like buy from me. You want to educate them. You want to provide them with information that will help them. So when they're getting emails from you, they're looking forward to getting them because it's got good stuff in it. More importantly, my business is a service business, right? So one thing that I recommend is looking to where your business is coming from. Most of my business comes from referrals now, from IT, information technology firms. So rather than going out to like end user customers, a few years ago we built a list of just core people that refer us work, IT firms in the area, and we make it a point once a month to reach out to them individually. It's about 25 or 30 people. It's not that big a deal. deal. And once a month, I send them a personal email on something going on, some type of information, something to just continue on that relationship. Because most importantly is that I can't put a gun to somebody's head and say, buy from me now. All I can do is that when a person is needing something, they think of my firm first.
All right, great. Well, Gene and Julie, thank you guys so much for all this advice. Really, really, really appreciate it. And we answer questions every week here on the show, so if you have one and you haven't been able to find the answer yet, we will do it for you right here. Just head on over to our website. The address is openforum.com/yourbusiness. Once you get there, hit the button that says Ask the Show and submit a question for our panel. Or if you'd rather, you can just send us an email to yourbusiness@msnbc.com.